Have you ever watched your entire winter survival go up in flames because some pearl-clutching HOA queen decided your barn ruined her perfect beige utopia? What if that tragic accident wasn't random at all, but a midnight torch job ordered by the same woman who smiles at block parties while plotting how to steal your land? And how does one quiet veteran who just wanted to raise a few goats end up burying the entire corrupt kingdom with nothing but patience and one tiny camera that never forgot a face? The stench hit me first, thick, chemical, like someone had dumped a whole drum of accelerant and walked away whistling. It was 5:47 a.m. mid-November, the kind of cold that makes your bones ache before the sun even thinks about rising. I grabbed the Remington 870 I'd kept beside the bed ever since coyotes started testing my fences. Same shotgun I'd snatched at 2 a.m. when I heard scraping outside. Back then I'd stepped onto the porch, scanned the dark, saw nothing but the peaceful silhouette of my feed barn against the tree-line. Figured it was wind. Went back to sleep like a fool. 200 hay bales, 40 sacks of premium goat supplement, the custom mixer I'd saved 3 years for. Everything reduced to twisted steel and black sludge. My goats and chickens needed that feed to survive the freeze. Without it, I'd lose the whole herd by Christmas. I walked the wreckage slowly, boots crunching on still warm cinders, forcing myself to catalog every detail the way I learned in the army. Burn pattern started at the northeast corner, the one hidden from my bedroom window. Deliberate for me to go back inside, then struck. I knelt and spotted it. A 2-inch scrap of black synthetic fabric, partially melted, the cheap industrial glove kind you grab at any hardware store for $15. I didn't own gloves like that. I sealed it in a sandwich bag with the same steady hands I once used for evidence tags overseas. Old habits die hard, especially when your livelihood just got murdered. Then I remembered the trail camera I'd zip-tied to the shotgun barrel 3 months ago. Motion-activated infrared, meant for catching predators near the pens. I'd pulled the card 2 nights earlier because it was full but never swapped it. The internal storage had been running the whole time. A cold spark of hope cut through the rage. Tires crunched on my gravel drive. A white SUV with the HOA logo rolled up like it owned the air itself. Out stepped Vivian Sterling, our beloved president, silver blonde bun so tight it looked painful, tailored wool coat absurd for dawn. She stopped 10 feet from the ruins, phone already in hand, property watch app glowing on the screen. Of course she knew first. What a terrible accident, mister. Chilled honey. I came as soon as the alert pinged. Such a shame. Perhaps this is the universe telling us agricultural eyesores simply don't belong in our refined community. The board would be happy to discuss a generous relocation package. She smiled that thin smile that never touched her eyes. I said nothing, memorizing the fake concern while the evidence bag burned a hole in my pocket. She thought this was over. 3 moves ahead. 1 week later I walked into the HOA office with a formal request for an arson investigation, citing their own bylaws about community security. 10 minutes in, Vivian glided out, still ice cold. Mister. Clearly a personal matter. Our security provisions only cover common areas. I pointed out the fire could have jumped fences and taken out half the neighborhood. She slid my papers back like they were dirty. File with your insurance, dear. 3 fresh violation notices waited in my mailbox when I got home. Fence height, offensive livestock odor, and excessive farm noise. Each carried triple fines. Fire. Backdated. Someone had built a paper noose and was tightening it. That night I cracked open the 47-page CC and RS and read every comma like it was enemy intel. Aesthetic violations at board discretion. Fines compounding daily. Emergency hearings with 48-hour notice. They'd written themselves a perfect slow crush machine. But I'd spent 3 days digging into state law instead of sleeping. Right to farm statutes. Protected. I drafted a formal complaint. The reply came in 48 hours. Emergency hearing Wednesday at 2 p.m. Ongoing agricultural nuisance. Ambush scheduled. While waiting I checked county records. 7 months earlier, Pinnacle Resorts Group filed for a luxury spa expansion. My 15 acres sat dead center in Phase 2, highlighted in yellow like I was already bulldozed. My farm wasn't ugly. The phone rang. Dripping fake worry. Mr. Watch flagged motion near your barn the night of the fire. Around 2 a.m. On your own cameras. I kept my tone flat. Just wildlife cams. She practically purred with relief. She believed her lie had landed. Perfect. Leaving. An email hit next. HOA lien for $12,400 in backdated fines. 90 days or foreclosure. $200. Math was brutal and intentional. Then insurance denied my claim, citing the 3-hour gap, hinting I might have torched it myself for the money. Rumors started at the hardware store. Insurance fraud. Burned it himself. Only Vivian could have planted that poison with such precision. She was turning the whole neighborhood against me while smiling at bake sales. I requested HOA financials. What arrived was garbage, blurry scans, missing pages from 14 months ago when aesthetic rules magically expanded. But one line screamed, Sterling and Associates consulting fees, $15,000 quarterly. Registered to Vivian and her VP sidekick Derek Lang. Shell company created 3 months after Pinnacle's first filing. She wasn't just enforcing rules. She was on the developer's payroll to clear obstacles. My barn wasn't an eyesore. It was a $180,000 obstacle standing between her and a fat kick. 3 days before the hearing, the insurance verdict sealed the trap. No payout. Lien. Winter slammed and merciless. I called the livestock auction, sold 40 goats and 100 chickens. 8 years of blood and sweat loaded onto trailers and driven away. Kept 5 goats and 20 chickens, just enough to stay legally a working farm under right to farm. Auction brought $6,200. I wired $5,800 to the HOA, leaving $7,800 still owed and $400 to eat on. The math was designed to break people. But I wasn't broken yet. I called the county fire investigator, Roger Finch, and laid out the financial conspiracy. He showed up in 2 hours. Fabric alone won't ID anyone, he warned. I need bodies at the scene. That night I popped the internal storage from the shotgun camera. Timestamp 1:53 a.m. 2 figures at the northeast corner. Tall, nervous one, Derek. Vivian. Pouring liquid. Times. Her controlled stillness. Public records confirmed Sterling and Associates had a $180,000 owner negotiation contract with Pinnacle. Direct payments. Through legal aid. He cleaned the footage. Unmistakable. Derek's lanky frame. Something fell from his pocket. An electronic access card. The kind HOA board members use for the community center. Heat hadn't destroyed the serial number. I borrowed a metal detector, swept the ruins. Signal pinged exactly where the card should have landed. Blackened but legible. This just became named person arson, he said. The community was already shifting. Neighbors who'd been silent started talking. Martha, the retired teacher across the street, admitted Vivian had threatened her over garden gnomes last year. Walter, the retired Marine 2 doors down, started a phone tree. 40 families promised to show at the emergency meeting. I called a local reporter who'd been chasing HOA corruption stories. Camera crew confirmed. The county DA opened a full criminal investigation: arson, fraud, racketeering. Pressure mounted. He'd bolted to Arizona. Vivian was alone now, cornered. Anonymous letters started hitting outspoken residents. Financial dirt, medical secrets. Classic intimidation. She thinks scaring us one by one still works. She forgot we're not alone anymore. Derek lasted 6 days. Cheap motel. He flipped fast for a lighter sentence, spilling every detail. The accelerant run, the payoff schedule, how Vivian picked targets who wouldn't fight back. 7 other former owners came forward with identical horror stories. The emergency meeting drew over 100 people. Walter moved for a vote of no confidence. Passed 87%. Liens lifted on my place. Vivian showed up anyway, sitting alone in the back, composure cracking. When the floor opened, she marched to the mic, voice trembling with rage. Before you rush to judgment, I have private information on half this room. Things you don't want public. Dead silence. Then Martha stood. Vivian. This is a panicked rat trying to bite. I plugged in my laptop. 47 seconds of raw truth played in silence. 2 figures. Flames. Enhanced frame freezing on the silver bun and Derek's falling access card. License plate match. Lung. Vivian lunged forward. Attorney couldn't hold her. You don't understand. Property values were dropping. Pinnacle offered real investment. Your ugly little farm was in the way. The side door opened. 2 deputies stepped in. Her meltdown, caught on camera in front of 100 witnesses, was all they needed. Vivian Sterling, you are under arrest for first-degree arson, insurance fraud, racketeering, and wire fraud. Handcuffs clicked. The queen of the HOA was finally dethroned. 6 months later, spring came soft. The new Community Rebuilding Fund, fed by recovered embezzled money and civil settlements, paid for my fireproof barn. Vivian's trial lasted 3 days. Jury took 6 hours. 18 years federal, no parole for 12. Derek got 8. 8 affected families for $3.2 million. My share, $420,000, enough to rebuild bigger, better, and debt-free. The HOA transformed overnight. Walter elected president unanimously. Martha attends every meeting now with her notebook, unofficial watchdog. Vigilance, she says, is the price of honest governance. My Remington still hangs above the new barn door. Warped frame and all, trail camera still attached. Below it a small brass plaque. The truth never burns. I walk the property every dawn now. I didn't fight just for me. Meant people like Vivian could keep torching lives for profit and calling it community standards. The real weapon wasn't the shotgun. It was the evidence it quietly recorded and the courage to let it speak when the moment came. If you've ever felt crushed under HOA boots, remember this. Keep your receipts, keep your cool, and when they light the match, make sure the camera is rolling. Justice doesn't knock. Never let a smiling tyrant convince you that rules written in secret protect anyone but themselves. Stay quiet long enough to gather ironclad proof, then let the truth do the screaming. That's how the little guy finally wins.